This is just a really quick video. I don't know how well it's going to come out. It's terribly windy out here and keeps gusting up, but we're going to try it. I got this put back together. The heater cables are working for the main on and off in the rear. It turns out that the rear seat butterflies underneath the seat that puts the heat out in the rear footwell, the butterflies are missing and all the linkages are missing. So I guess I got a heater cable that's no good. And I checked in my 75 and I can't find those parts. I didn't look very hard for them. They may be laying over there by the car. But I put it all back together, the rear tires and everything on it, on Saturday, and I washed and waxed it. But before I washed it, I decided I'd take it for a spin and see how the engine ran and everything, and check for oil leaks and everything like that. And took her for a spin and brought her home. Gone about 20 minutes, and worked it kind of hard on the throttle and off the throttle and everything, and gave it a good run, and come back, and this is what I found. Oil everywhere. All up inside the deck lid, all over the air cleaner, all the stuff that I just cleaned is all oil. So, we'll get to that problem in a second. I just thought I'd show you guys. It looks pretty sharp. It shines like a diamond except for the rust spots. Clean the wheels up. You know, they're a little rusty, but you get back about this far and it looks like $1,000,000. So eventually I'll paint it, you know, because there are some spots where somebody's fixed it down here, you know, and there's some bubbling and stuff starting. Nothing real major, you know, but gosh, I cleaned the glass, I cleaned the interior, I vacuumed it out, and I waxed it, and she just shines like a diamond. Looks great from 20 feet away, but anyway, on to the problem. I learned something. The first thing that I thought, well, first of all, let me put the pulley back on here. The first thing that I thought was, okay, there's oil all over the back of the motor. Where's it coming from? It's dry back there. It's wet. The distributor's wet. This is wet here. You know, I thought maybe this gasket was leaking, but it's dry back there. This is wet. The top of the generator's wet. The front of the carburetor. Everything back here is wet. And with it running, it doesn't leak when it's cold and when it's idling. It only leaks when you're, you know, giving her some gas, you know, taking it for a drive. Because this was bone dry, and I'd had this thing running several times, you know, moving it out to the barn, moving it down to the house, stuff like that, turned it around when I was working on it, and no oil leaks at all, bone dry. So, I was watching it run, and right between the case and this pulley, it was wet with oil. And I thought, well, that's kind of funny, you know, if it's been rebuilt, the seal should be good. So I'd rev it up a little bit, the oil would go away. When it came back to an idle, you'd see oil pooling right around that. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Must be that seal's shot. So I got online looking to see if I could replace that seal without having to split the case. And there is no seal. Mr. Porsche, when he designed this engine, I think the original ones, but I know that the later ones, at least the 1600 and the 1500 and I think the 1300, this is actually the inlet for the positive crankcase ventilation. There's a coarse thread on the pulley, and what it does is there's an oil slinger. There's an oil slinger in here up against the distributor drive gear. There's an oil slinger that keeps most of the oil in, and then there's a spiral thread on here that as the engine runs, it draws air into the crankcase, and then it comes out here. And I thought, well, that's kind of a goofy design, but I found out they do sell what's called a sand rail or sand seal kit for sand rail buggies that comes with a pulley, and it comes with a seal that goes in here, because obviously you don't want to be sucking sand in the motor. That would be very bad, because that's the crankcase, that's where the oil is. It'd pump the sand all through the motor and ruin your bearings. So I thought, well, maybe I can put some O-rings or something on there. Then I got to thinking, this is an aftermarket pulley. maybe there was no grooves in it. So of course I pulled it out. It's got grooves. They're not as deep and as wide as, where is the other pulley here? Let me see. They're not as deep and as wide as this one, and it's not as aggressive. But I want you to notice something that is amazing to me. I would assume that this is probably a China, made in China pulley, an Empire or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't have a name on it, and I didn't buy it. It was on the car when I got it. But notice the way that the threads are. That's a right-handed thread, which means if there was a nut, it would screw on there righty-tighty. Now, this is the one off the 75. That's a left-handed thread. The book says it's supposed to be a left-handed thread. Now, the motor turns clockwise when facing the crankshaft, according to the book. The distributor rotor turns clockwise, the crank pulley turns clockwise, and the fan turns clockwise. Everything turns clockwise. So on the original pulley, if this was turning clockwise, any oil that would get in this groove, or air, would be forced into the motor, as it should be. When this turns clockwise, it's kind of hard to do this, but just imagine that there was a pin or a finger, your fingernail was in that groove. As you turn this, it's going to be moved up and up and up and up until it's off the end, because it's a left-handed thread, which means left-handed is loosening. So the pulley would come this way, or the air would go that way. So that one would work correctly. This piece of crap replacement pulley that somebody put on here is right-handed thread, which means when the engine is turning to the right, it's pulling air and oil out of the crankcase. So this is junk. I can't believe that. It figures it's something stupid like that. You know, the dumb Chinese freaking manufacturer, whoever made that stupid replacement junk pulley. Oh yeah, we put threads on there. Yeah, the wrong threads. They're supposed to be left-handed. So, what I got to do now is I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I might even hit it with some black paint just so that it's not, you know, so junky. And I'm not sure that the belt is the same, because that's actually, that aluminum pulley that was on here is actually a little bit smaller than this. So it's probably underdriving the fan and everything too, which is bad. So, I'm going to clean this groove up and maybe paint this pulley, and we'll put that on and see if that doesn't fix the oil problem. I've been pulling my hair out over this, and it's because of the stupid aftermarket replacement pulley. I wouldn't be surprised if I replace it with this, my problems will go away. You know, another cause that they said online could be a high crankcase pressure. You know, a lot of blow-by or something. But this engine is tight. It's got good compression, doesn't burn any oil that I can see, you know, when I'm driving it. So I can't believe that there's too much blow-by. It's got to be that right-handed threads is just pulling the oil right out. Unbelievable. You know, it pays to shop around. I don't know where that pulley came from. And my apologies to the Chinese Republic if they didn't make it, you know, but I don't know who would have made that wrong, you know. But anyway, I'm going to continue on. I just thought I'd rant and rave a little bit. You know, this country is going right down the shit pipe, and we're sending all our work over to China, and that's the kind of quality we're getting. It's unbelievable. When are people going to get their heads out of their asses? When is the administration going to get their heads out of their asses? You know, this is not right. This once great country is going right down the shit pipes, and you people are not only allowing it to happen, you are encouraging it to happen. What is wrong with you? Anyway, I'm done ranting. Enough political stuff. This is supposed to be fun. So, I'm going to get some degreaser on here. I will probably put the aluminum pulley back in there just to keep the degreaser out of the motor. Get this all cleaned up again. And then I'll work on painting the pulley and cleaning it up and painting it. And we'll see if we can't get this stupid bug finished, at least enough that I can drive it reliably without losing all my oil. So anyway, It's a wonderful day out, except for the wind. We're supposed to be getting gusts up to 50 miles an hour, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, I'll check back with you guys in a few minutes. I hope I didn't offend anybody. My apologies if I did, but I'm not apologizing for the way I feel. Alrighty, I got the 75 factory pulley on there. I got the belt reasonably tight. I don't want it too tight, it'll wear the bearings out in the generator. Got most of the oil mess cleaned up. Still got a little grime on it, but it's not wet with oil. And I'm gonna take it for a spin, come back and see what we got, see if it's any better. So I'll check back in a minute. Alright, we just got back from the same drive I took yesterday. About the same speeds. You know, I don't remember exactly, but I went through the same pace as I did yesterday. Let's see if we got oil all over the place. Aha! We do not. We are dry as a bone. Check it out. Oh, that's great. That is nice. Oh, I'm so happy. Yay! Alright. Well, it looks like we got that problem fixed. So, until next time, thanks for watching.